Good morning. Today I am going to work in the blue garden, planting some things, and then I'm also going to work on cutting back some of the Pride of Madeira that I have over there. And if I get to anything else, I will get to it, but I kind of doubt it. So I'm going to go get to work over in the blue garden and gathering my plants for that area. Helper. So I'm here in the blue garden, which doesn't look like much right now. I do have three blue hydrangeas here. There are blue anemones that come up. There are blue hyacinths. And right here is some, what is it called? Blue honeywort. And I did a lot of seeds in this area this year, and some of them are starting to come up. There are some blue and rather purple alyssum. Most of this green right here is a weed called chickweed, but it's green and it doesn't bother me that much. And the other, I want to say it's a prairie blue. I am here in the blue garden, and right around there it turns into the orchard and turns pinks and yellows and purples and whites. So I have a few more ground cover kind of, or low growing plants to fill in this area here. And then I want to cut back this Pride of Madeira here. That's the back of it. And cut it back pretty strongly and shrink its size from the other side. And then the cuttings from those you can just stick in the ground. So I'm gonna go along where I know I have some water lines and stick some of those in the ground. And these are the plants for this area that I'm gonna put in today. I have a bloomerang dark purple lilac, and it doesn't look like much right now. It's out of season for it. But it gets 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. And let's see, do they have a zone here? USDA 3 to 7. And I am in zone 10. So it's fine on the low end, and I'm hoping that we do get a little bit of a few chill hours here, enough to have it really bloom profusely. The other plant I have is a liriope. It's a ground cover, and it has a purple blue flower, and I have a lot of space to cover over there. So this is gonna go over there, and these I got half off, and I have 3 of those. I also have 3 flax lily lilbecca. There's no real stats on this right now, but it's a flax lily. It'll spread a little bit, pup, and it's gonna not get much taller than it already is. It's about 12 to 18 inches tall. It has a bluish flower. And then finally, I have a flax lily variegated here. It's called, gosh, does that say Daniela Tasmania variegata? So flax lilies are Australian or New Zealand plants. And this one will have a blue flower, and then it has berries that are left. And this, I believe, I can split this one into multiple plants. And when I'm planting things in the shade, I often do try to find things that are variegated, because then they show up. So some of this is going to go on this side, And I might put a few of the liriope along this little berm here. It tends to get just covered in weeds. And so having a ground cover will suppress that. So first I think I'm going to cut back the Pride Madeira and then plant. Or I might plant and then cut back. We'll see. So right here, as you enter the blue garden from the orchard, which is behind me, I have a Kool-Aid tree here, and I think I'd like to have, and I have some anemone. They're the white flower. I have some ferns. I have a poor man's rhododendron and impatient right there, which will get taller. I think I would like to have, I see some hellebores that I planted from seed starting to come up. This is pretty much one of the only areas in this garden that's really more sunny. So I have the one lilac, and I would like to, I think, pop it right about there. It'll get 6 feet tall or so. And then I also brought one of the flax lilies over. On this end, I put the lilac right there. I'm going to move the irrigation line a little bit because I do have a lot of other things happening in here. And I'm gonna divide this flax lily. So this was a sale plant, and we got a worm in there. Earthworm. Okay. I can at least get 2 plants. Whoa! Can at least get 2 plants. Where'd the earthworm go? Oh, poor guy. 2 plants out of it. Maybe more. Get 2 plants out of that one. Okay, so I'm going to put a few of the little Becca, which has a green leaf, and then farther back in the shade, there's some astilbe back in there and some brunnera. I'm going to go ahead and put some of the variegated flax lily back in there a little more. We're at one little lavender. Plant that over here too. This area gets more sun than the other area. I have some really cool kangaroo paws here. Looks like some of the nigella I started are coming up. Some larkspur. I have a princess flower over here. So I'm just going to do the lee rope down here on the bottom, because that's where it usually gets completely covered in weeds. I want to suppress that. And I'm also going to put the one lavender that I found. I'll put that over here too. I have this gigantic Pride of Madeira here, and it's becoming too big. It's coming into the path right here and pinching it down, and I'm happy that it's as tall as it is, but I'm going to try to cut it back a little bit. Whenever you work on Pride of Madeira, wear gloves, because it has spiky stems and leaves. That may have looked like quite a vicious cutting back, but the plant starts to sprout new growth pretty deep down in the plant. So there's a bunch of new growth here, and it's very aggressive. It's a very vigorous grower. So here's a bunch new. So even though I cut that back pretty hard on the bottom, that's all going to flush back out. Hopefully kind of stay a little bit more compact off the path, leaving us a couple feet to go by. But I wanted to leave the height because I'm happy with the height of it. It blocks the fence from down here. So that is done. Now if I wanted to propagate more of these, I would take one of these smaller, see how in here there's main branches that come off, and then there's this little smaller one in here. So if I wanted to propagate this, I would take this one, pick it off, strip, of course wearing gloves, take most of the leaves off of it from here down, and then go and stick this in the ground where I have, where I know I have some good irrigation happening. And I've had really good luck with this. I started with this one plant and I now have 10. Just doing it this way. It's not 100%. If you wanted to take a bunch of starts and put them in a seed tray and kind of baby them a little more, that would be a way to maybe get better results. But for me, it grows so quickly, and I know I'm going to continually have pieces to cut off, that I just I do it this way. I take a little piece off. So having limbed this up gives the new plants I planted a little bit more of a chance. And here's the lavender here. It's very exciting because the larkspur that I planted is starting to bloom. And this is the Nigella. And then over here, Definitely am gonna come in here with more stuff soon. But for now, at least today, I got the flax lilies planted. I have the variegated ones in the back. The other light leaves that are here are a runnera I planted a while ago. There's also some white astilbe, and then here's the other flax lilies. A few more here. And the lavender, which doesn't look like anything at all right now. That's why I left a tag on it. So it's fun to finally be filling out this area some more. Once there's enough of a tall green wall back there, which I've planted some poor man's rhododendron, which is an impatient right there. Those get quite tall in maybe 2 years, as well as tree coleus, which I expect to be very tall within 2 years. We won't see past the fence anymore, and then I'm gonna come in and limb these ones up, take these branches back a bit so we can hang a hammock in here and have a walkway in through this area. And I did plant some Scotch moss earlier in the year, and it's trying to hold its own here with all the oak leaves. Looks like didn't make it there, but I do see one more little bit of it there. So the blue garden is slowly taking shape. I need to get an obelisk for this honeysuckle here. I could just make one out of an upside down tomato cage. That's a thought. Let me go see if I can find one that's big enough. I was just walking past this table to go find a tomato cage, and I wanted to give an update on these cuttings that I took. Some of the coleus are doing really well. I've tried twice now with a different kind of coleus and it's not taking, so I'll try again. The bloodleaf, the irisine, is doing so well. It looks like 5 of the 6 cuttings of hydrangea that I did have taken. The dahlias, I'm having mixed results, but some of them may be making roots underneath, and I'll just have to wait a long time. This one even flowered. There was even a flower on one of them, so that's really cool. And then I just took all these more cuttings of dahlias that gophers keep eating. So along with the seeds, I'm taking cuttings, and then I will try to dig some of the dahlia tubers, really trying to preserve the plants I have and multiply them. So we have some honeysuckle here that was here when we moved in, and it was completely dead, and then when I started irrigating the area, it started to come back, and the stuff that's close enough to the fence I've tried to train onto the fence instead of having it crawl out this way. But there's one that has its roots way out here, far away from the fence, and I don't have an obelisk handy, but I'm gonna use a tomato cage. It's not glamorous, but it will absolutely serve the same job. This is about 3 feet tall, I think. Maybe a little bit even taller, maybe 40 inches tall. Let's see, maybe there's a tag on it. 42 inch. So this is a 42 inch tomato cage, just a galvanized tomato cage. And I'm gonna put it here at the bottom, and I've placed it upside down. I will try to contain the top ones a little more into a point. And eventually that vine is gonna cover it completely, and it won't matter if I've spent $120 on an obelisk or $6 on an obelisk. I will get the same effect. So I'm gonna go get that put together. Well, it doesn't look like much right now, but it sure looks better than just a pile of those vines on the ground or having them crawling every which way all over the yard. So as it continues to grow, I'll continue to wind it around there, and when it flowers, I think it's going to be really beautiful because I've given it some height, somewhere to go. And I can just cut it back if there's too many wild arms coming off of it. And I'm excited. Finally had the chance, walked by it one too many times and thought today's the day. Well, that does it for today. I got blue garden plants planted. I think I only have like 2 more big planting days, but I really only have 2.5 maybe weeks until my knee surgery. So let's see, Monday, maybe it's 3 weeks from today. Anyway, so it's time for me to start, getting things all finalized for the season, because then I won't be able to garden for 6 weeks and I'll have to be knitting, which I enjoy just as well, well, almost as much. I really like gardening. So I'm just happy to have gotten the blue garden area planted. I do have one more big plant I need to plant up here, but I don't have the energy today to do it. So it'll be one of those last, and I'm not exactly sure where I want it to go. It's really, the main reason is that I don't, I could plant it, but then I might have to move it. So I'm still kind of trying to decide where I want it to go because it's quite a big plant. So other than that, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye-bye.